I got one. My worst Tinder date was, we were up north at a friend's bachelor party.
Okay.
And I got catfished.
Oh, no.
Yeah, we matched, and there's like 15, 20 dudes all at this like bachelor party, and she was like down to come hang out, and I'm like, that should be my first red flag, that this, wants to go hang out with a bunch of sweaty dudes, in hindsight. And so I'm not super happy. I'm not like proud of this, but she came by, and it was not the same person as the photos. She was not looking great. And so she came in, we were kind enough to like let her in, and we're all hanging out like in the basement of this Airbnb. And this was like a sign from the universe. My buddy had been fishing a little bit throughout the day, literally catches a catfish and comes into the basement where we are with the catfish. And he's like, guys, look, I caught a catfish. And we all like look at the, girl, and then over to the catfish. And then he like drops the catfish, and, catfish have these like sharp things in its gills. And
like barbs or whatever.
The barb, it gets stuck in the floor, and it's like flopping like right in front of her. And we're like, if this isn't irony, I don't know what is. So we play it out a little bit longer. She was nice enough, but she started to get like really uncomfortably sexual with me. Like, she would say things like, yeah, I got church tomorrow. And then she'd look at me and be like, I'm going to need church, huh? And I was just like, I don't know. Maybe to deal with, the resentment after I kick you out. So it's been decided, and we have to come up with a plan on how to boot this girl without her knowing. So we like a sports team, like she's in the bathroom, we're like huddling up, 8 of us. We're like, all right, guys, what are we going to do? She's like, well, we could tell her that, the guys are coming home, and we're going to need that spot for parking. And, she can't park where she is in the driveway. So sure enough, we weren't really lying. The parking was limited. There wasn't any place to park other than the one spot she had. So we were like, we need you to move your car. And so she's like, okay, just let me know where. So we all like go out, and she like backs up, and she's like backing up like down the street. And we're like, just keep going, farther. And then we ran inside and locked the door.
No.
Yeah, it's on her for catfishing us. And then she starts texting me all sorts of wacky things, like that she was going to a party, and I may bleep this, I don't know. She's like, I'm going to a party, and I'm going to have 2 in my ass. Want to make it 3? And I said, no thanks, I'm good. And that was my story of being catfished.
I've luckily never been like full on catfished, where it's like, oh wow, this is just a different person, and that has to feel really kind of, I imagine it felt probably really like kind of creepy and awkward, because it's like, oh wow, this isn't the person I was talking to. This doesn't feel right, but also too, I get that you don't want, like, you don't know this person. You don't want to, like, be like, hey, I don't like this, just leave. Because if she, reacts violently or something, like, then you're sort of just stuck in that situation. It's better to just, get yourself away from the situation. So I'm not going to say I would do any differently.
Yeah.
But it is really just an awkward situation in general. I can appreciate her shooting her shot and really just, shooting for that third up there.
Yeah. And I wonder if she was telling the truth, or if she was being facetious, or what that was about. But it was one of those things where you got to fight fire with fire. I felt like I got catfished. So
that feels bad.
Am I going to treat a catfish nicely? You can go back to bottom feeding, you catfish.